souls out there. I hope you're able to get out in nature like Starlight was, and Starlight will be again after this. Well, not right after this, but anyway, I just want to say hello to all of you, family out here. Yes, we are all family, whether you like it or not. So I say that a lot to people out in public. So yes, we are all family, whether you like it or not. And thank you for all of you who are loving and supporting Starlight, and thank you those that are new on my YouTube channel. Plus, anyone that would love to be a sweetheart, is that you can send love to Starlight, a love donation, and you can do that right here. Ping, there it is. And so today I gotta really jump in because I'm only getting like 40 minutes in this room. So today Starlight's like, we gotta get this going. Hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and you can find me on YouTube, and that is at Starlight, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman. Plus, don't forget you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, plus give me a thumbs up, and you can also leave a message down below, beep, 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 and you can share my videos with your family, your friends. Don't forget to ring the notification bell, and you can check out my playlist. Plus, you can find me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. So anyway, today is, are you still having unprotected sex out there? Men? Not just men, but women? Women, I know that, it's more the man's area to protect his ass. Not his ass, right? To put the protection on. But ladies, I'm talking to you. We need to make sure, as far as women goes, we need to make sure that we are protecting ourselves from all kinds of stuff out there. Do you want a baby right now? No. Okay. Is it really his responsibility to make sure he's got protection? No. It's both of your responsibility, really. It's not just the women either, guys. It's not just the women, but really, if you don't want to catch anything or have any babies, it's both of your responsibilities. I have to say, when I was younger, I always thought, hey, it's his responsibility, but no, this is my body. I need to make sure I am protecting my body from catching anything that he could have. And it's not just men. It's, guys, you need to protect yourself from the women. Because, in the past, I'll tell you, is that when I was starting to go out and get condoms, and carrying them with me, I had them in my apartment. I had them in my, my pocketbook, the just in case kind of things, hey, I'm going out doing this, but you know what? I don't know really what to expect. I've gone on a lot of dating apps, where sometimes Starlight was off the charts out there, There's times that I wasn't ready for a relationship. So, it was like playtime for Starlight. To me, it was a big stress reliever. I needed a stress reliever. I'm being so honest, and I never liked one night stands. Absolutely not. I always was crying later on, like after I got what I thought I wanted. It wasn't really what I wanted at all. So this video is, why do you think the world, some of the reasons why the world is so screwed up the way it is today, like I just uploaded a video from, that I made when I started my videos, my YouTube, and I was hearing myself, and I'm like, yes, I need to touch that topic again, because I was hearing myself, and things that I said, and girls, it's not just the man's responsibility. Don't put it on him, you know, and think that, hey, you're the one that's got the tool that I need or whatever, and so you got to have the, you know, the condom. But women, what's wrong with us? You know, why can't we make sure that we are stocked? You know, make sure that we don't use old condoms. You know, make sure you throw those away. They're not good. You know, you don't want to use an old condom that sat in your pocketbook or a wallet for a long time. You know, so, and, you know, I'm making this videos because all the unplanned pregnancies, both of my kids, well, my first one, my daughter, I was so young. I was 16, 17 or whatever. I wanted a baby. I babysat so much. I even raised my sister, a handicapped sister, and all these little kids. And I'm like, oh, I want a baby girl. But I really didn't know I didn't know enough about what I was getting myself into. And boom, there's a baby girl. There she is. You know, and I knew it the first time. I'm like, I am pregnant. And I was. Now, my son, that was a shocker. You know, so, and that happens. So I'm not saying that Starlight's not guilty of that stuff. But, you know, I didn't know any better when I was that young. And, of course, when my son was born, I have to say, I wasn't quite ready to have one. I was having so much going on in my life at that point. But, boom. You know, he was such a great blessing to me. Both of my kids were such a great blessing to me because they taught me so much about myself. But are you ready to have a baby? You know, and I have to say, and the reason I'm making this is because I know there's a lot of you out there that, you know, you think that it isn't going to, you know, nothing's going to happen. Everything's going to go smooth, you know. And so this video is to inspire you. Please have some condoms, you know, try them out, find out the kind that you really like. Guys, you know, girls, you gotta have to find out what works for both of you, not just for the guys, because it does, you know, like it does affect the female guys too. You know, you gotta find out, hey, let's go, you know, try this pack out, you know, see if you both, hey, you both like it? Well, don't forget the name of the brand. And just keep on buying those kind. You know, you got to make sure you're safe, not just, you know, hey, she can't have any babies. Hey, that means, you know, like I can have sex as much as I want because she can't have babies, but you don't want to catch anything either. And a lot of people, what they don't do is they don't get tested. They get tested for one thing or this thing, but they don't get tested for everything. You need to get tested for everything. Find out, you know, and you know, use condoms. Please use condoms. Don't think that, hey, you know what? I got this down. I know when to pull. Guys, I'm not talking about you women right now. I know when to pull out. You know, it could already be too late. You know, and what I learned in my past is, you know, I went on meet and greets, meeting guys, you know. Starlight was just, you know, would say, hey, the deal is, it's just you and I, if we're just having sex, you know, no commitment, no relationship, because I don't want you, you know, out there having sex with other women, and I wasn't going to go out and have sex with other men. And that's why you want to make sure you are protected. That you women carry condoms with you. Make sure you know what kind you like, you know, and or, you know, when the time is, when even if you just want to have sex, hey, do whatever you're going to do it anyway. But protect yourself, you know, have the kind that you really like and, you know, feels good for you women or you guys. And, you know, you never know, you might find another kind of condom that, you know, because you might have a new partner somewhere and, you know, they might not like the kind that you have. And so you might have to switch things up. But it's so important women not to think that it's the man's responsibility, because in the heat of the moment, who can say no? Who could say no when you're all turned on, and you got each other flustered, right? You're all flustered, and now it's like, do you, and not all guys, but I do have to say a lot of men will purposely, lie about things, and women are capable of this too. So guys, I don't want you to think I'm just picking on the women here, but guys will, like, they don't want to wear condoms. There's men that don't want to wear condoms absolutely at all. They don't want to wear them, and that's why women, we got to make sure we're protecting ourselves. So I don't really think it's a woman deal, because I think it's more of a male deal, because, I've had guys use condoms where I didn't notice any difference. So it didn't matter, to me. I'm saying it at one point, like, I wouldn't have been able to tell the difference whether the guy had a condom on or not. I mean, it's something with women where, a guy could be having sex with you and you're like, Maya, it actually feels kind of like they're not. Do you have one on? I mean, like, because it doesn't really even feel like you have one on. But with a guy, it might be totally different, So you need to make sure you are protecting yourself. And what I learned when I was when I was just like in the sex mode and not, I wasn't ready for a relationship right then. But, I needed a stress. You're going to be my stress reliever? Okay, you're going to be my stress reliever. Is that a lot of what I learned is a lot of men do this, is that they will meet with you, and when the time comes, it's like, oh, do you have a condom? No, they'll even act it out, look in their wallet, and they know ahead of time that they don't even have a condom, oh, I don't have one. Women, that's why you have to have one. So when they, there's some dishonest men, just like there's dishonest women. So when they try to pull that line on you and say, what is a condom? You got one. And see how they react then, right? See how they react. Oh, shit, she's got a condom. Yeah. So yes, women, you got some extra cash, there's some places they will hand them out to you, they will actually give you condoms for free. Of course, you got to make sure you're going to get the kind that you really feel comfortable with. So I'm really reaching out to all of you. And another thing that I learned in my past is a lot of men do this. Actually, I think almost all of them, in my past, the same kind of line. And women, this is why women, we have to smarten up, because there's a lot of crazy stuff. You think that we would have this down by now, 2026 now, and a lot of unplanned pregnancies, people don't even want the kids, and then it causes a lot of problems with the kids, abuse or even miscarriages or, all kinds of crazy stuff. So women, we need to smarten up. And I haven't had, what is sex anyway? What is it? I don't even know what it's like. So it's been that long, I'm a virgin right now. So it's been that long, and now I'm having problems making a video. Okay, focus, Starlight. Okay, we're gonna focus back here now. So yes, is what I learned a long time ago is, women, are you ready for this? Men, are you ready for this? This is a man's line, and women, we got to protect ourselves from these lines. They worked with other women, and they're going to test these lines with you, and this is why you need to smarten up. Protect yourself. The pleasure isn't worth, HIV or something, or whoops, a baby. Especially if you can have a baby. You need to be wise, and, ignorance is not a bliss here. I'll tell you that much. So the line is a lot of times guys, when they meet a girl, is that they say, hey, yeah, I got my condom. They act like they're really responsible. Yeah, I got my, like, there goes a whole thing of condoms, and it's like, oh, good, I feel safe now because you got some condoms. So then, so you see them maybe on the weekends because you're both working on the weekdays. And then the next week comes by and you meet wherever. And then whoop, there goes those condoms. They got them. Hey, good. Yeah, everything's going through good. Then the next time, well, who knows when? It could be in the middle of the week for some unknown reason at nighttime. And then they show up and whoop, they got the, hey, I'll give you 5 stars. You're doing so good. And then the 4th time, it's like threes, the power of 3. The 4th time, you get together and see women, we're all counting on the guy to have the condoms, right? I'm sorry, Starlight does not have any condoms when I gave them all away somewhere. So the women are thinking, okay, he's got it because the last 3 times he's had them. So we're counting on you, the guys out there, to have them. And he already planned it ahead of time. He doesn't want to use anymore. But he's not going to tell you about this, ladies. Well, maybe he will. He might complain the whole time, the last 3 times about using them. Then the 4th time or the 5th time or whatever other time, they show up and they don't have a condom. And you're both gotten all in the heat in the moment, you're ready to, and there's no condom. This is a problem. Women, where's yours? You need to have condoms, even though you don't have a tool to, put it on. You need to protect yourself. Even though they look clean on the outside, it don't mean shit. Guys, even though she looks beautiful and sexy on the outside, it doesn't mean nothing. And this is a big, huge problem in the world, is that people think, hey, look at her, she looks sexy. Look at him, he's athletic, he goes out and does sports. He doesn't even do drugs. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you always carry condoms, so then you're not having a whoops, like she's pregnant. Well, gee, I only got with her to, we only got together to, and now, oh yeah, it was fun, right? Only if you listen to your intuition that said to wear a condom, go buy them, you're running out. You know what? Forget about the coffee at the, Starbucks. Go get some condoms. Forget about buying makeup. Go get some condoms. It's so vitally important that you are responsible, and it's not just his job, it's the women's job to be responsible all the time. Always make sure you have condoms or a variety. Have fun with it, don't make it like, oh, here we go, we gotta have this condom. No, it's gonna protect you. There's people later on, they end up getting stuff, because they didn't play it safe. They didn't know the person. Just because somebody looks beautiful and, handsome or whatever, you don't know their past and where they've been, and it is so important to get tested, get an HIV, go to your doctor, find out all the different kind of STDs that you can get, and go get tested. If you're going to go and get married to somebody later on, and it's kind of horrible, is even if you're married. Because what if your husband or wife goes out and screws around on you, just because you're like, hey, we've been together, we've been together 6 years, we don't need any we've been together 3 years, we don't need condoms. Well, are they going to be faithful all the way through? They could just be unfaithful one time. You could have gotten all the tests beforehand. It just takes that one time, just like the lottery. All it takes is that one, like a 1 in a million. Well, here you go, 1 in a million, of the, you might think that it will never happen to you, and it will change your life, and everything about, there's people that, get AIDS or other different kind of STDs, and it ruins their whole sex life, it ruins the relationships in their life and then, they got a baby. Oops. Well, guess what? You could have, but you didn't. And so it's so important, I don't care what year we're in, is to protect yourself. And I don't know, these days they have so many different things out there, and I'm not really a person that wants to get an injection, hey, I'm going to get this injection in why should I have to go and get an injection in my body? So then, the man, he still has to wear a condom, even though I could get an injection so I don't get pregnant. You're still going to need a condom so you don't catch something, So you got to, think up here, not down there, because a lot of times it's what ends up happening in the heat of the moment. We're not using, guys, you're not using this brain up here that says, dude, you ought to, protect. You don't know this girl. You just met her. Girls, you don't know this guy. You don't know where he's been. You don't know if he's got anything. And he could say, oh, I was tested. Well, talk about what were you tested about? What were the tests? Tell me. I want to see the results. I want to see the results. I want to see your name, and I want to see, the doctor, and, I want to see these things. You got to kind of prove it to each other that you don't have anything. That way you're not spreading it to other partners, whether you're boyfriend or girlfriend, or it's just a one-night stand or friends with benefits stuff. Be wise. Use your head, not that head. This head down here will get you in all kinds of trouble. If you let that guide you and direct you in your life, you are in so much trouble. So you don't want to listen to your man toy, to tell you how to live, because that thing is going to always get you in a heap of a mess, and you'll regret it later, and then you will wish you used this head up here instead. But this is not just for the men, it's for the women and the men, because women, it's your body. Don't let him choose on how this goes. This is your body. You need to protect it. Make sure you always, you're running out, go get them now. You're running out of condoms, go buy them now. You're down to how many? Go buy them now. Get them in, put them in a safe place where they don't get ruined by your wallet or whatever, is to make sure that they're going to be usable, and they're going to be the safest that they can be when you decide that you want to play or have fun or make love or whatever your name is for it. So I love you so much. Be wise, because you know what? You will thank yourself later on when, don't let it be like, hey, I don't want to, it doesn't feel comfortable for me. You know what? You're still going to get off at the end, right? As long as you pick the right kind. There's ones that are, you don't even notice. I can't say what it's like for a guy, but, you're going to regret it later on when you didn't do the right thing. And get tested first, though. Go and find out, but either way, like I said, even if you were married, you don't know if they're going to be unfaithful. Whoopsie. That's all it takes. So anyway, I love you so much. I really hope you get a lot of help, because this world, it's crazy. More and more, you think, there's people that learn their lessons, but, it's a horrible way to learn a lesson is, by finding out, by your doctor, oopsie, you're pregnant. How did that happen? Well, you weren't protecting yourself. So anyway, I love you so much. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, plus give me a thumbs up, and you can leave me a message down below, beep, beep, beep. Plus, you could share my videos with your family or friends, and don't forget the notification bell, and check out my playlist. And you can also find me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight.